Hey, welcome to the first episode of Dead Game News. Our first news item is a month old, but it's a big one and it's still dead. As of April 1st, the PlayStation 2 network has shut down. So every single game on the PlayStation 2 that required an online connection is now unplayable. How about that? This affects so many games, I'm not going to list them all, but we have titles like Burnout, a ton of sports games, SOCOM, lots on here. Now most of these games are still playable as either single player or local multiplayer, but this is a big list of games that are now completely dead for online multiplayer. And the last game to go, Final Fantasy XI, is now completely unplayable on the PlayStation 2. Now Final Fantasy XI is still going on the PC, but hey, who knows how long that has either. Anyway, the next time you hear about cloud functionality or console games that require you to connect to Sony or Microsoft or whoever, well, remember the PlayStation 2, guys. This may change in the future, but as of this video, the PlayStation 2 is the best-selling game console ever. It sold 155 million copies, almost half the population of the United States, and we don't even have a backup plan to save online games for that. It's a console that had a lot of great titles, and it's really the canary in the coal mine for what's coming to future games. Moving on, WWE 2015 is having its servers shut down at the end of the month on May 31st. This game is less than 2 years old on consoles and just over a year old on PCs. Now, I don't follow wrestling, so I can't comment as to the quality of the game, but wow, 1 year for online functionality. That is a hell of a standard we're ushering in. It must be really hard to host a 1v1 wrestling match, huh? And apparently 2K Sports did something similar to an NBA title that only had 18 months before the online servers were shut down. Boy, if you're a sports fan, it looks like you're expected to cough up the money for the new versions if you want to play online. And our last announcement is the free-to-play game Nosgoth is also shutting down at the end of the month on May 31st. Nosgoth is a third-person multiplayer arena game. That's what you've been looking at here. It has asymmetrical gameplay between vampires and vampire hunters, kind of like the Half-Life mod Vampire Slayer. But its biggest claim to fame is this is the newest game set in the Legacy of Kain universe. The Legacy of Kain series has been a set of very memorable story-driven games set in the dark fantasy world of Nosgoth. So far, it's seen 5 games in the series prior to this, but the last game was made back in 2003. So it's been 13 years since we've had a good Legacy of Kain game. So to say fans have been hungry for more would be an understatement. The series has also seen a bunch of failed game attempts, the most recent being Dark Sun. As a Legacy of Kain fan myself, it's frustrating seeing this series struggle so much to get back off the ground. Unfortunately, I don't think Nosgoth was destined to be the game that relaunched its popularity. All the other Legacy of Kain games are single player only, and are known for their strong storylines. Nosgoth feels like a companion game, or really just a multiplayer mode to a bigger game. It's a very simple formula for the combat, and there are many games and mods similar to this. Still, the production value is quite high, and it's a sign of crushed hope seeing something emerge in the Legacy of Kain series after so many dormant years. I didn't think much of this game myself, though I still think the intellectual property of Legacy of Kain is great material and will be happy for another attempt at making something good. I think this game would have been much better received if it was released alongside a new single-player game. Also, I've seen reports of some fans who really did enjoy this title, so it's a pity this is being killed. You know, a lot of people seem to be cool with a game dying if it's multiplayer only. Why? This is a textbook example of a game that doesn't need to die. If it had been designed properly, you could run this game forever. This is an 8 to 10 player action arena game. Oh yeah, trying to run that with a private server on a personal computer? That's some real arcane magic right there. If only there were hundreds of examples of multiplayer games from the 90s and early 2000s that you could still run today because they allowed private servers. Thank God we're running everything through the company server so they can shut it down and no one can ever play it again. Okay, I got bitter. Sorry, guys. That's it for this episode. If you have any Dead Game news, send it my way and I'll report it. See you later.